episode is sponsored by WeHaveMerch.com. WeHaveMerch.com. Prices starting at only $12.99. Sizes up to 6XL. 17 different shirt designs. Buy 2 shirts and get a bigger discount. Anybody that buys 3 shirts gets a 10-minute guest spot on Cool Kids Countdown. Buy one now. This episode is also sponsored by the following.
Glowing Hearts knows that you have a right to choose any in-home provider you wish. At Glowing Hearts, committed to caring isn't just a tagline, it's a promise to their clients, employees, and communities that they have the honor to service in Pemiscot, Dunklin, New Madrid, Butler, Scott, Mississippi, Stoddard, Wayne, Bollinger, and Cape counties. For more information, contact Glowing Hearts at 844-390-3735 in Marston or 573-803-2716 in Cape Girardeau. Glowing Hearts, committed to caring.
Get ready, guys. Mark it on your calendar. Saturday, June the 23rd, Harrison, Arkansas, Youth Center. A big reminder is that Harrison, Arkansas is only 30 minutes south of Branson, Missouri, and only about an hour from Springfield, Missouri. I want you to join us at the Legends of Wrestling as we return to Harrison, Arkansas. That's right, guys. This is a family-friendly event to help a great cause. All the proceeds will go to Jake Boulder's Medical Relief. So who's going to be at the Legends of Wrestling? It's going to be Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, Tim Storm, Hall of Fame referee James Beard, Gary Graham, Matt Riviera, Space Cowboy Jason Jones, the Diamond Dogs, Mr. Saturday Night Michael Berry, and many more. You can get your tickets at www.mswtickets.com. Be there! Have you listened to episode 79? That's right, 79 with Danny Adams. Here's a clip. All the archives are at www.stspod.club.
I think some people have stories about, watching it on TV and they just kind of just click with them. But in my case, I can't remember a single time in my life when I wasn't a huge fan, because I just kind of grew up in a family. My dad and my brother and cousins were all big fans. So, I just grew up always knowing who Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and the Ultimate Warrior were, and that was just always a household name. So, just being a fan ever since, like I said, ever since I can remember, it was the dream, always a dream of mine. And in 2014, got the opportunity to start training with Michael Logan in St. Louis, and here I am.
And are you originally from the St. Louis area?
Yes, I am, born and raised.
All right. And we always come live from SDS Studios there in St. Louis. So just to let you know, this is a St. Louis-based podcast. The thing about it is and you started in 2014. Now, Elgin put you through, what did he put you through before he let you get in the ring?
Nothing that was too intense or anything as far as, paying any extreme dues or anything. I mean, Elgin was probably one of the kindest trainers you could really imagine, especially when I first started. So he had us right in that ring and bumping around and learning all the basics and even getting into more advanced stuff real quick. I had my first match only after training for about 4 months. So he was just big on getting his guys trained and ready and no bullshit or anything. He just wanted to see his guys succeed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's start the party.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids.
Hey everyone, we're going to bring my co-host, the co-host with the most, I wish I could do, like Jim Vicious does on Suplex City Limits. He's so smooth with all that. But Mr. Divine Lance LeVine, is that what he calls you?
So Divine Lance LeVine.
So Divine. I'm
sorry. He coined that. I never heard that when I was a kid or anything. So glad to join you back here at the WTF News Desk, BT. I'm coming from the Hydrox Cookies studio. And I got to say, I'm really upset with myself that I took the Hydrox Cookies money to sponsor the studio this month. So they're a knockoff of Oreos. But you know what? They were offering me money, so we're doing it. So whatever.
There we go, guys. We do want to thank our sponsors, our real sponsors. I'm live from St. Louis, and like he said, he's from Chicago, Illinois. And we, once a month, we'll do a Cool Kids Countdown, and it's all about we have tried our best to come up with a good name, but I really like the WTF News Desk. Just some strange and odd things, and it's kind of easy to come up with 10 when it comes to professional wrestling. These aren't going to be your normal stories. They're going to be stuff that me and Lance had fun with, and just oddball stuff. So go ahead, Lance. Let's start it. Let's start.
This wild, wonderful world of professional wrestling that we follow. Yeah, it's tough to narrow it down to 10 sometimes. So we had a couple that didn't make the cut. Hornswoggle's writing a book. It's called Life is Short, and So Am I. That didn't quite make the cut. And that's true. That's a shoot, as they say in wrestling. And Renee's chest. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. I think a couple of us who were watching Backlash, but Backlash early in the month. Renee Young's chest got progressively redder and redder as the broadcast went on. Like, all I could think of is she ate some bad shrimp at the buffet or something, because she was having some kind of rash during the broadcast. So that was bizarre, too. That didn't make the cut either. So let's get to the actual
Well, I had a couple of things, too.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like every month we're going to bring up something Lawler says on one of the most uninteresting podcasts ever. For somebody that, made a living talking people into seats, his podcast is really always not that exciting, unfortunately. But he had a deal where he talked about how Meltzer was, he did the old speech like Meltzer did this, Meltzer. Old timers always say, never been in the ring, he's just a goober kind of thing. And the funny thing was, I know this personally. Jerry Lawler was a subscriber for many years to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Spoke to Meltzer on a regular basis at one time. So it's just really weird how the business, you have to be, when you're in the business, you have to be one of those guys that says, Meltzer don't know what he's talking about kind of things. And I know you didn't know anything about this, but they actually released some a script where it showed when they were the actual what they were saying and how to say it and everything. It was kind of neat. I may put a link in up on Twitter after this is released so people can go look at it. But you could really see where the direction of everything. It's wrestling's not what it used to be where you just tell people, well, here's what I want you to do kind of thing. It is really, really just like putting together any other TV show. But I thought that was really neat.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if Lawler is well versed in the art of paying for hotel rooms. So, but that's a whole other story. Maybe that'll be covered
that'll be next month.
Next month's WTF.
There we go.
So at number 10, we have our Stip match of the month. It's going to be a regular feature on the WTF News. Is the craziest stipulation match that we can find for the month. So this month's honors go to Big Japan as the promotion, and the match happened on May 5th. It was a fluorescent light tubes, nailboard, and forks death match for the death match title, and it was Masashi Takeda beating Abdullah Kobayashi to retain the deathmatch title. So a very big win there in the death board, forks and nails and bullshit match of the month in Japan. So Kobayashi, I think is that the same guy that eats all the hot dogs on 4th of July?
I think it might be. Yeah.
I don't know, but the name Abdullah conjures up that he's not exactly in good shape. But anyway, so I was thinking, in this nail board fluorescent tubes match, I'm sure you're going to hit us with, well, back in the day, I managed a team and we did a dog collar on a light pole with a baseball bat up my ass match.
Oh man, the most hardcore or whatever match I was ever personally involved in. I was actually in a chain match one time with a 60-year-old man. Remember, I'm a manager.
Was that wrestling?
So, yeah.
Was that wrestling, or was that just private?
Well, no, I'm not talking about any personal stuff. Yeah, wrestling. So a chain match, we both bled. It was god-awful, one of the worst matches you'd ever watch in the world. And I was involved, and this would be long story, but a barbed wire match against a woman, and she actually, the character was based on, I don't know, it's just a hard, long story, but she actually was my wife at the time. So I was in a barbed wire match with my wife. So. But that was my ex-wife. Might be a reason why she's my ex-wife.
She may or may not still be alive. We don't know. She may have bled to death in that match.
Really quick, funny, also story. The first time I ever took my current wife, to wrestling, there was a death match, like the first match, and some kid got tons, maybe 25, 30 thumbtacks right in the top of his head.
Oh, jeez.
And I should have never took her to that show. And it was like, I was like, what did you think about that? She said, were those thumbtacks real? And I go, yeah, they were real. So, yeah, that she even talks about it now. If she could sit through that, I could sit through anything. So.
And it was love at first sight.
There you go. All right, number 9.
All right, number 9, we have the one and only Hulk Hogan inducted into the Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame.
As soon as you asked me for a story, I got one. So you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
There. Well, Hogan, let's talk about the Boys and Girls Club. No, I'm just laughing about this. I don't know if Hogan knows this, and I'm going to tell you something you might not know. I'm always revealing stuff to you. But the Boys and Girls Club also has black boys and girls. So he may not actually know that. So, but Hogan's not a racist. He just says that word, behind the door. So
on sex tapes, yeah. So I guess that they nominate people that are famous celebrities that were alumni of the Boys and Girls Clubs when they were younger. So I guess he must have gone, in Tampa or something where he lived. He must have gone there and made the popsicle stick artwork for his mom and dad for Mother's Day and Father's Day and shit. So he must have attended as a kid. And so whenever there's a celebrity that's used to go to there, they put him in their Hall of Fame. So that's how that came about. I mean, basically all it is the Apology World Tour, hits Tampa to do the induction for him. So he's trying to make himself, redeem what little value his name still has as far as credibility, which if it ever had any, after the sex tape and the N-word on the sex tape. I don't think did he ever say the N-word outside of the sex tape? I mean, if he could only get rid of that damn tape, that would have, finished off a lot of his problems.
Yeah, because, he never said it. He never said it unless it was on that tape. I mean,
only in that tape, yeah. That's the only time he ever said it, brother. So anyway, he's in the Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame, which I find so ironic because not exactly the best role model for your kids. So Hulk Hogan in the Hall of Fame at number 9. At number 8, we have nude model Michaela Schaefer and also Germany's Next Top Model contestant debuting as a wrestler on May 12th.
Wow, and losing to one of the contestants there in the Mae Young, right?
Yeah, it was Jazzy Gabbert, who was in the Mae Young Classic and got over. They didn't sign her afterwards because there was some medical issue or something. But she got over. The fans at the Mae Young really loved her. And in this match, I don't know if you've ever seen Michaela Schaefer, but she's not great looking. She's okay looking. She's not a knockout by any means, but they gave her a lot of credit because they said she broke a rib in training and she still went through with the match. If you've seen clips of the match, I don't know if you've seen any of it. I've seen clips of it. It was a 2-minute squash. Jazzy kills her. And a lot of people were giving her credit, saying that she went through with it. I mean, but if you're watching it now, she looks exactly like what somebody with very little training, a woman with very little training would look like in the ring. It was very, very plodding, nothing special, nothing the least bit athletic. So, but Michaela Schaefer, Germany's Next Top Model, making an appearance in the ring in May in Germany. So
Well,
I'm just curious.
I had a question though. You said she was a nude model. Did she? You know, when I first read that, she didn't wrestle nude, did she?
No, she did not. She wore some like hideous singlet, some hideous like Moolah era singlet, if I remember correctly.
Hot.
So
Yes.
I'm just curious if Tyra Banks makes money off of the fact that there is a Germany's Next Top Model. Does that, begs the question, is there Egypt's Top Model, and is there, Bolivia's Next Top Model, and all these shows, are they all franchised, and What's-Her-Face makes all kinds of money off of that? That's crazy. So
now,
anyway.
if anyone knows the answer to that question, you can reach us on Twitter. I'm at Comic Book Mark BT, and Lance, go ahead and give your Twitter out now.
At Chocolatier LL. And I bet Ed Bogus knows the answer to that. So and if you do know, if there is a Bolivia's Next Top Model show, they'll get 10 minutes on the next Cool Kids Countdown. They'll get your 10 minutes.
You got to buy 3 shirts first.
We
got a contest. We got a contest coming up in July, and we're not told everything, but Ed's won every damn contest, so he'll probably win some. All right, let's get on with the countdown.
Right. At number 7, we have the John Cena, Nikki Bella breakup. Did they not break up, or did they get back together? Did they not get back together?
Well, I had to put this because I'm on record saying all this shit is work from day one. I don't even know if they're even a couple. That's one of those things. I mean, it's such a work in that he was on the Today Show, and it was just absolutely pathetic. John's not a great actor. He's a fun actor. But when it comes to having to be serious and tell about blah, 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 and then that shit that he's put on Twitter and everything, and then it was revealed a couple of days back that they've been seeing each other anyway during this whole time breakup and had something to do with Total Bellas, which doesn't surprise me.
Right.
But there also was the rumor that
Carmella, he was banging Carmella.
Yeah, that he went with Carmella. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing, like you said, it was so obvious from the beginning that it was all a setup. It was all a work. I mean, it was to drive ratings for Total Bellas, right? I mean, it was just to basically get their names in the papers and in the news and on the internet and everything to get ratings for the season premiere of Total Bellas. And I mean, I don't know if anybody bought that. I guess the People magazine reading old ladies on the bus, I think they might have believed it. But for those of us that are paying attention, I mean, it was a work from the very beginning. And then the whole, they get back together. And I think Meltzer was even saying, well, they already filmed the breakup. So are they going to use that on the footage on the show? So the whole thing was just so convoluted and so weird. And like you said, who knows if they're even a fucking couple? He might be gay at this, she might be gay. Who knows if they're even together? And the Carmella thing, I mean, that was a hot story for about half an hour. So I don't know if there was any rumor to that.
I think they just shut that up. It may be true. That's the thing. I think they might have shut it down,
Yeah. And then the funny thing is the show debuted to the lowest ratings it's ever had. So all of this obviously backfired. So just a bizarre story, and who knows how much of it is, if true, if even the slightest iota of it is true. At number 6, we have the Tom McGee beating. 59-year-old Tom McGee beaten up in Mar Vista, California.
Man, you see the photos of this, guys. Tom McGee was famous I guess he was famous for being a shitty wrestler, I mean, that's pretty much, especially to the smart community. I think I think Meltzer kind of made Tom McGee kind of a big deal. Not Meltzer, but in the wrestling business, and then he just was god awful. But man, he took a beating, didn't he?
Yeah, he was the neighborhood watchdog. I don't know if that's something that you put on a resume or on a business card, but he was the neighborhood watchdog, or, meddling pain in the ass white guy that we also like to call it. In Mar Vista, California, which it sounds like something out of where Seinfeld's grandparents lived, when they did the skits where Seinfeld and George would go to visit their parents and stuff. So he sees 6 suspicious guys in Mar Vista, California, apparently taking a parking space that they shouldn't have taken. And he loses his mind and goes out and confronts 6 fucking guys. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen if 6 funny looking guys, are coming after you as a 59-year-old man? That's only a couple years older than us. And I can't imagine myself ever confronting 6 guys. As ballsy as I think I might be, I think logic would come and prevail
in a
on that.
parking spot.
Yeah, over a parking
what the
spot.
fuck?
Crying out loud. So
people get
they
mad
broke
at the
his-
damnedest things, you know?
they broke his jaw, they broke his orbital, and he had a concussion too. And like you said, those pictures that we saw, I mean, it looked like his head looked like a bag of, flesh because they had beat him up so badly. And the neighbors that came out to see what was going on, they said if we hadn't come out, he probably would have been dead because of the beating that these punks were putting on him. So apparently they arrested a couple of the guys, like 20, 21-year-old guys. And of course, they'll serve some kind of time if they get convicted. But Tom McGee, Mega Man, who honest to God, I never even saw the match. It was one match that he did, a dark match with Bret Hart that apparently was what kind of put him on the map. And then he never went anywhere from there. So I knew who he was, but I never even saw the guy in the ring. So at number 6, the Tom McGee beating.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial. We're going to be back. You're talking about his head and everything, and all I could think about, is that it was like really soft and mushy when they got done. And you know what that reminded me of, Lance?
A piñata?
Nope. You know how a baby's head has got that spot? It reminded me of the Canellis baby, is what it did.
Oh, the Canellis baby. That's true. But let's
Canellis
hope
baby.
for, much healthier future for the Canellis baby than Tom McGee.
All right, here we go with the. Thank you guys for the sponsors, and take a minute here to listen.
Glowing Hearts knows that you have a right to choose any in-home provider you wish. At Glowing Hearts, committed to caring isn't just a tagline, it's a promise to their clients, employees, and communities that they have the honor to service in Pemmican, Dunklin, New Madrid, Butler, Scott, Mississippi, Stoddard, Wayne, Bollinger, and Cape counties. For more information, contact Glowing Hearts at 844-390-3735 in Marston or 573-803-2716 in Cape Girardeau. Glowing Hearts, committed to caring.
Get ready, guys. Mark it on your calendar. Saturday, June the 23rd, Harrison, Arkansas, Youth Center. A big reminder is that Harrison, Arkansas is only 30 minutes south of Branson, Missouri, and only about an hour from Springfield, Missouri. I want you to join us at the Legends of Wrestling as we return to Harrison, Arkansas. That's right, guys. This is a family-friendly event to help a great cause. All the proceeds will go to Jake Boulder's Medical Relief. So who's going to be at the Legends of Wrestling? It's going to be Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, Tim Storm, Hall of Fame referee James Beard, Gary Graham, Matt Riviera, Space Cowboy Jason Jones, the Diamond Dogs, Mr. Saturday Night Michael Berry, and many more. You can get your tickets at www.mswtickets.com. Be there! All right, we're back, and it sounds like Lance is doing jumping jacks there. I just real quick, I got a couple things to say. Thank you, Mid-States Wrestling. We just ran their commercial, but want to tell everyone on the 23rd at 2 o'clock, 24th at 2 o'clock, if you are a wrestler, James Beard and Tim Storm will be doing a seminar on the day of the event, and the day after, which is that Sunday, Bill Superstar Dundee will be doing a seminar. They're only $30. Guys, if you're in the business and want to learn just learn anything. These guys have tons of experience, especially Dundee. You can call 858-848-SLAM. SLAM. And, Lance, you didn't even ask me, but, I'm on a quest here. The Olien Diet.
The fat ass diet. That's right, fat ass. How are you?
Yeah, see, there we go. You didn't ask me. So what's going on is, looks like we have about 13 weeks. That equals close to 100 days. And my plan is to lose 40 pounds. So we're looking about 3 pounds a week. So I hit my goal the first week. Now, I haven't weighed, last couple of days, but I weighed after 7 days. And actually in 14 days before it even started counting. So I've actually dropped close to 8 or 9 pounds total, but we're only going to count the 3 for the 100-day challenge there.
All right, so I'll just keep up with you because I'm at 165 and I'm trying to get down to 163 before all in. So I'm looking to lose those 2 pounds.
2 pounds. I just got to start doing some damn exercise. So
it'll be one less Oreo cookie or Hydrox cookie. Sorry, Oreos. It'll be one less Hydrox cookie every month.
Yeah, and we hate you too. We hate people like you. So go ahead, start. We're going to be at number 5.
Number 5.
Wait. I'm going to expose you, Lance. Okay, I'm going to expose you. Everybody fat listening to this, you hate Lance because Lance. No, really, seriously, I'm glad you could do what you could do, but this motherfucker's pretty much the same size since the day I met him. Maybe a little bigger, but he doesn't eat anything healthy. Absolutely. Nope. I don't even know if he's had a carrot in the last 20 years. So
no carrots. I hate carrots. I did have asparagus. I had asparagus about a month ago, and my pee smelled like asparagus for like 2-3 days.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, so at least my body works normally. So yeah, but you're right. I eat so much bad stuff. That's the one vice I have. I don't really drink much. I don't smoke. I swear like a sailor, but that's not really a vice. But I
tell everybody how many medications you take. How many medications do you take?
Nothing.
So that's the reason we hate you. Now let's get down to the
There's any number of reasons. Make a list. All right, at number 5, back to the news. We have Charlotte's busted bust.
Yeah, Charlotte this is the stuff on the WTF News Network right here we get into.
That's right. You don't hear about news like this on, the Observer news sites and stuff like that. So
I don't know. I haven't done the research on this one. I do apologize, Lance. But is this the one that was lopsided?
Well, they were both lopsided. So all I know is that,
you can look at that a different way, but yeah.
I mean, maybe if she's standing on her head, they're okay. But I guess there must have been some sort of accident in a match sometime back. It wasn't very recent because the announcement was on May 9th that she was having one of her implants broke and that she has to take a little bit of time off to get it repaired. And then I think it was right around the same time she had some teeth knocked out too on that European tour. So then she just threw in the towel and said, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to get it all fixed. So I think that, last month, if you recall, in last month's news, we covered the discount rate that they got on the boob jobs for the Double D Comics for Alexa Bliss. So I think every month we're going to have a boob story. It's just going to work out that we're going to have a boob story. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't involve like Fala Ba or anything one of these months. So Charlotte takes a little bit of time off to get her busted bust fixed and repaired. Hopefully, like we said, the doctor who put them in was probably blind in one eye or something because there was some major damage done there. So hopefully the doctor who was repairing her makes her look at least somewhat remotely normal again. So hopefully her teeth are fixed and her boobs are fixed and she's ready to go on the Money in the Bank match.
Well, us people in the South, we don't care about the teeth being fixed or not,
That's true, yeah.
But the boob, we got to get the boob. All right.
You got to get that fixed. She's got summer teeth, though. Not Summer Rae teeth, but summer teeth. So at number 4, we have the brawl between Bernard the Bear and Daryl Takahashi at Ring of Honor.
You sure this shouldn't have been our weird match? That should have been man.
Well, it wasn't technically. It wasn't a match, so it was not a match.
Let me tell you, this is the craziest brawl you ever seen. Chairs. I mean, everything. If you can go out of your way and go on YouTube or something, this may have, if it wasn't for all the great other matches in Japan, this could have been up there as one of the top matches this year.
I think it was a sin that Meltzer did not give Bernard the Bear and Daryl Takahashi 5 stars. I don't know. If that match would have taken place in Tokyo, Dave Meltzer would have given Bernard against Daryl 5 stars. It's fucking bullshit. Anyway, so what it was a parody of a brawl. I'm sure most people have seen it, but like BT said, if you haven't seen it, look for a clip. It was something falling out from, an LIJ versus Bullet Club match or something. And at the end, they've got the Bernard the Bear, that giant character with the giant bear head that comes out with Cody, and Daryl Takahashi, who is the stupid little stuffed animal cat that comes out with Hiromu Takahashi. And they did a parody of a pull-apart brawl with these two, one of which is an inanimate object altogether. So it was May 12th at the ROH War of the Worlds show. And it was great how they really captured everything about the classic pull-apart brawl, where one guy broke away from the guys who were trying to hold him back. and here's Takahashi trying to hold back a stuffed animal. It was really, really entertaining. And like I said, they really did a really nice parody of the classic pull-apart brawl from the history of professional wrestling.
I'll try to share that on Twitter also.
So, yeah, and it wasn't long. It was like a minute or two long, so it's real easy watch. So it was on the May 12th War of the Worlds show on ROH. So at number 3, we have everybody's favorite, Enzo Amore's rap video.
Oh, my God. So I hear people talking about the rap video. Even my old buddy there, Suplex City Limits, Jim Business, said he didn't even go watch it. Guys, I want you to find this video, and I want you to watch it.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 minutes long. It's easy to watch. It sucks, but it's easy to watch.
It's featured one. Let me tell you, this guy right here, he is going to be a rap star. He is the next big thing in the rap community. You know what it reminded me of? You know, Eminem always did kind of like comedy raps, you know, and his videos, it looked like a second rate, like a B movie Eminem rap. That's what, and here's the thing, he wanted to make fun of everybody, all these, you know, internet goose on the internet, internet goose on the internet. I guess that's where they're at. So every guy that watches wrestling is a fat guy that eats Cheetos. I want you to know that, Lance. You're a fat guy that eats Cheetos. And then he just blasted that girl. Just totally blasted her. Pretty much, you know, tells everybody, fuck off if you don't support me. You know, stranger things have happened, but I can never see the WWE wanting him back just for the intent of what he did, you know, on that video. And this girl, we know, if you followed her on Twitter, he is not guilty, so we can say this. This girl was a liar. And so I'm glad that he didn't go to jail for something he didn't do. You know, I was a huge fan of Enzo, the wrestler, the guy that came out with Big Cass, but man, this just kind of turned my stomach a couple times. It was funny. At times I was laughing, and other times I was like, man, you're such a fucking idiot.
Man, I totally lost you the last minute or so. I couldn't hear much of what you said at all, but I'm just where I think you left off. First off, consensual penis. I mean, the fact that that's in a song, that was, you know, it should just tell you what the level of quality of this bullshit is. So the guy is just insanely bitter. Like you said, his critics are not all fat. Just FYI, not all fat asses, Enzo, are critics of you. I think a lot of people hated you. To name the damn song Phoenix, obviously really petty. And then, you know, bottom line is, what wrestling company is ever going to want to touch this guy again with this major fuck you video? You know, I mean, no company is going to want anything to do with this guy. And I mean, here's a news flash from the WTF News Desk, Enzo. You know, the money that you have, what wealth you have accumulated, guess who paid for that? Wrestling fans, you know. So you insulting wrestling fans and calling wrestling fans assholes and stuff and saying fuck you in the video, hello, they're the ones that basically paid your salary for the last couple of years. So I can't imagine TNA at their lowest or any other wrestling company wanting to bring this guy in. And, you know, we haven't even seen his name on the indies at all, anywhere. So maybe he's washed his hands of wrestling. Who knows? Hopefully for all of us, he has. So I don't know if you're back. Hopefully you're back, BT.
Oh, yeah. I heard everything you said. And,
okay.
So we're doing good. It was just a technical difficulties, but, you know, I think everyone can listen in. There's nothing missed there.
Okay. So at number 2, we're closing in on the top news story of the month of May. At number 2, we have Lashley's sisters.
Man, I want to be honest. I didn't watch this. I really don't. I had got to a point to where I was watching clips of Raw, and, you know, pretty much quit watching it, even fast-forwarding it through it or watching the Hulu version. I sat down and was going to watch this because there was some kind of, you know, thing on Twitter that said, you know, Zayn was going to do something with Lashley, and I like Lashley, and Zayn is just hilarious in this role that he's been in, and I was going to watch it. Then I seen everything that everyone said about it, and I actually brought the video up and seen what he was doing and could not even watch it. I was just like, I can't see this. So,
I got to tell you, I think it's one of those things that you have to watch, from the train wreck standpoint of how bad it was. So the whole thing, I did see all of it. So the whole thing, the very first part of it was when Lashley did the sit-down interview with Renee Young from some set that they never even used on Raw. It wasn't like a backstage segment. It wasn't in the ring. It was just some weird interview that she did. And he's this grinning, smiling, just like the personality of, watching grass grow. I think the only time he was really ever entertaining to me in TNA was as a heel. So him as a face, he's doing this whole the stupid Finn Balor face where he's just smiling guy, and Apollo Crews. That's all they do is just sit around and smile. So Lashley's playing the same dumb character. So he's doing this big revealing interview with Renee, this personality piece to give him one, which he doesn't have. And one of the things he talked about was his three nasty sisters, like the three evil stepsisters that chained him to a tree in the forest and left them there. And, all these bizarre fucking stories that who knows if that's true, if it's not true. If it's not true, that's some weird fucking writing. I'll tell you that. And if it is true, that's some weird fucking sisters. But anyway, so that was like what you took away from the skit. And then the following week was the week that they did the tranny stuff, where they had the guys dressed as women in the ring in 2018. I'm like, okay, for one, I feel sorry for Sammy because they pinned this awful, awful material on him. And I agree. I think he's great in this, asshole heel role that he's playing. And obviously the guy's great in the ring, but they pinned this awful material with him. So he got stuck with this ridiculous garbage material on the skit. And I mean, it's one thing if they had written good stuff for him. But in this day and age, in 2018, with such a, politically correct climate that we live in, why in the world would you have three guys dressed in drag, and think that that's funny? Obviously, that's funny to Vince, but it was funny to nobody. It was a complete bomb, to the live crowd. And then obviously the payoff is that Lashley beats up the guys and it's revealed. The big reveal is that it's actually men in drag. The one guy had a mustache altogether. So the whole thing, I could see maybe going with that type of skit if it was fucking funny, but it was horrible. It was horrible. So, I'm really kind of surprised that they didn't take a lot more shit from any gay community or whatever that could have come after them for having guys in drag in a skit in 2018. So the Ashley Sisters skit at number 2, just really weird.
Yeah, it's just, you know what I've always said about, guys in drag, if they smell like a woman and they look like a woman, they are a woman. All right? That's my rule right there. Hey, we're at number 1, and this is one of the craziest fucking stories, and I'm going to let Lance tell it. This earned number 1, guys.
Yeah.
This earned number 1.
This was something out of Miami Vice from back in the day. So at number 1, our top weird news story for the month of May was the Alexis Vela murder saga, which broke in early May. And it turns out Alexis Vela was a Bellator fighter. He and a WEC fighter, which was the lighter weight guys that UFC bought that promotion. But Alexis Vela, who fought for Bellator, and Ariel Gandula, who fought for WEC, were charged with second-degree murder in the kidnapping and murder of Camilo Salazar. And so it's just this really complicated saga that went down in Miami. And apparently the Salazar guy was having an affair with their friend's wife. Their friend is Manny Marin, who owned this huge grocery store chain in Miami. This shit gets even more bizarre as we go on, So anyway, Manny Marin is their friend, the fighter's friend, and his wife, and this guy's obviously a millionaire. His wife is having an affair with this guy, Camilo Salazar. So anyway, they get busted. The couple gets busted having the affair, and, these guys are all talking and they're all making plans, and, there's cell phone records that show they were all conspiring and so on. So one day, Marin leaves home in Miami in a day in June of 2011 and never returns. He's got a wife there and kids. Apparently he leaves for France and never fucking comes back to the States, never comes back to his family. And the day or two later, this guy Salazar's body is found along the side of a road in Miami, hands bound, his throat is slit, and this was the best line of the story. His penis area was set on fire. So that may be the second penis reference we've had on the show today. So anyway, so in the meantime, so they charged the Bellator fighter, Alexis Vela is the guy's name, and WEC fighter is Ariel Gandula, with, the conspiracy for kidnapping and murder. So apparently Vela wasn't there. Vela, they have phone records that show that Vela was in Las Vegas at the time. So when the actual murder occurred, he was not there, but they did find Gandula's fingerprints on the victim's car, I believe. So, I mean, they've got a pretty clear case, and I don't know if they're found guilty, I don't know if Vela, since he wasn't there, I'm not sure how much he would serve, but just the wildest, most complicated, love story triangle type thing that ends up going to murder. And literally, it sounds like something out of a plot line from Miami Vice or something. And the fact that it happened.
I'm a huge fan of what I call murder shows. I watch the ID channel and 30-minute comedies, which are really only 22 minutes. But this is some of the stuff that I will watch, and you have some of the dumbest people doing some of the stupidest stuff. And this is just really bizarre. This is enough to have a TV movie made of, Yeah,
for sure.
Easily a TV movie made of. And not surprising they eventually got called, but it was really bizarre. And being you guys will notice this is an MMA story. We don't do a lot of MMA talk, but we are, MMA fans. And speaking of, why not? We're ending the show. We still got a few minutes. Let's talk about it, all right? Coming up this Saturday night, Steel Cage.
The Canellis baby?
Canellis baby.
Canellis baby?
It is this Saturday night, right? In Chicago, Illinois.
Illinois. No S at the end. It's silent. The S is silent.
But it is this Saturday night that CM Punk steps back in the ring, right?
That's right. Yeah, this Saturday, UFC, 2075 or something, is this Saturday in Chicago. I may or may not go. I don't know. I don't have tickets, but it's not sold out, so I may go and try and get a cheap seat in the rafters just to see the pop that CM Punk gets. Yeah, I think this will be his last foray into MMA. That's my gut. Honestly,
both of the guy that he's going against is 0-1 also. So
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, he was so tied up with the trial. This week the trial ended. They were found not guilty of the doctor, the WWE doctor that challenged them and charged them with whatever it was, slander, libel. I don't know the difference between the two, but from the Colt Cabana podcast. So poor Punk had to devote all this time to, the trial and his defense and everything. And now he's back in the gym and he's fighting in about 72 hours, so I hope the guy makes a good showing of himself, but I think he loses here. He retires from MMA and he does something at All In, whether it's a wrestling match or some kind of refereeing or managing appearance or something. But that's my guess. That's where
he's been kayfabing that big time too. But the thing in the courtroom that I was really excited about, and I know this is not one of our stories, but we finally know what CM stands for.
It is Chick Magnet.
There you go. Hey, guys, join us next week because we will be here next week doing a normal Cool Kids Countdown. Same time, same
normal
such
as it is. Not really normal.
On the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Love my mama. Be there.
Love my weasel.
Weasel? Good God. There's 3 penis references. Hey, that was another great episode of Shootin The Shiznit. Hey, join us 2 times a week. That's right, we publish 2 times a week. The episodes drop. Special thank you to Sean Garmer at Wrestling to Max website. That's www.w2mnet.com. Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets. www.pwbts.com. Locals to Legends.com over there, Gene Jackson, and WrestlingNewsCenter.com. Thank you, guys. You can reach me at PayPal if you want to make a donation to the show, and that's Brian_. Tramel, Tramel, at yahoo.com. You can also follow me at Comic Book Mark BT, at BT Shootin The Shiznit there on Instagram. The Comic Book Mark BT is at Twitter. STSpod.club has all the archives. We have 2 Facebook groups. It's the Shootin The Shiznit Facebook group. Just do a search. And we also have the Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group. Guys, we talk shit there. If we don't like you, we'll kick you out, okay? We are found on iTunes, Stitchers, Player FM, Pod Paradise, Spreaker, and all other fine podcast platforms. As always, we want to do a big shout out to our podcast brothers before we end the show here. Suplex City Limits, Creative Control, Who's Right Podcast, which is not a wrestling podcast, P3 Radio with my buddy Max there. Red Savine episode is hilarious, guys. And a new one on the podcast row, that is Po Boys Podcast. Do a search of that at iTunes. Another non-wrestling podcast. And we want to put over, hey, we don't have a Patreon site, but a big shout out to Keeping It 100. JoJo and the whole cast of characters over there helps out with Shootin The Shiznit. So if you want to donate to a Patreon site, give it $1, and that's patreon.com/Conan. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week on Shootin The Shiznit.